Good morning, everyone. Another spiritual download, and this one starts with a question. Why are we subjecting themselves? And I'm including myself in this because I've done this in the past. To suffering of situations that we know that's wrong for long periods of time. You know, when are we going to say that enough is enough? Setting boundaries. I've talked about this before. And by the time you receive this message, you would have seen and heard numerous audios and videos on my channel about setting boundaries. And you just need to know the importance of that in order to live a fruitful life and to receive the blessings from Most High so that you can be a blessing toward other people. Because if you don't set boundaries and you live in this type of energy where you feel you need to suffer all the time in order to endure something for some potential prize, it's basically a waste of energy and a waste of resources. Sometimes it is. There are people, and I'm going to talk about different situations, and if this applies to you, I kind of hope it helps you. And this is not to offend anyone. There are some of you right now that are working dead-end jobs and you know they're dead-end. Some of you know more than the manager, the owner combined, and you're still there because you think that after you put in so much time and do so much for them, even though you know you're grossly underpaid, even though you know that you're overworked, even though you've had coworkers come in since you've been there to surpass you in leadership and get more money than you and move on. You've had people stab you in the back. You probably had relationships suffer as a result of this particular job, but you stay there because you have this imaginary reward that you think you're going to get in your mind by putting in all this time, when the truth is all you're going to do is when you retire is get a percentage of what you earned when you worked. Simple math. I recently took a course, and this was just an optional course, about investing. And part of that investing course involved retirement, and they broke down approximately how much you would get after you put in so much time at a job and you applied for your retirement. And your retirement is only a percentage of what you would earn of your regular wages throughout your career. And in a lot of cases, it's barely 60%. And I'm saying this with a pause because I want some of you to think about that. So a lot of you who are blessed enough to make six figures, let's say some of you are making $100,000 a year take home. When you retire, you may get 60 to retire on. May. That is if you're lucky. The latest information I received is that the average retirement is approximately 40 to 45% of the income that was made when they were actively working. That explains why a lot of people would retire for maybe a few years and wind up going back to work. I know that sounds a little depressing. So some of you, even though you're well aware of this particular fact or have an idea, you are still going to be stuck at that dead-end job knowing that you're being paid well beyond what you should be paid, but out of this sense of loyalty, you're still thinking in your mind, I can't wait till I retire, so you can get a portion of you're already underpaid. So imagine getting just 40% of that when you retire 10, 15, 20 years from now. How do you think you're going to survive? You're looking for an imaginary reward, a potential reward. That is if you stay at the job that long, because you just don't know. And I hate to sound pessimistic, but I need for you people to start looking out for yourselves. You really do. You need to start setting some money aside in a fund where it can start working for itself so you can have that money. When you get ready to retire, you can start pinching off of that as extra income, whatever has accumulated for your monthly expenses, because you're going to need it. Barring the fact that you might have a health condition that might require that you spend extra money every single month. So that's one scenario. Another scenario is on the romantic front. There's a situation where someone has been in a relationship, being it a marriage or a long-term commitment, and for some reason or another, neither one of you want to end the commitment because you had obligations in regards to children or property or whatever the case may be. Neither one of you wants to make a final decision. Neither one of you wants to make a final decision. You don't. And time is just ticking away, and you don't understand why. How much time are you going to keep wasting not making a decision? You're not fulfilled. You're lonely. And you want to have something with someone. And some of you even attempt to go have something with someone. But when that someone finds out that you're still connected to someone else, they're out. It's donezo's for them because they don't want that drama. They don't want to be a third party in a situation. They want love too. And rightly so. So what do you do? What are you looking for? Are you looking for the imaginary reward after putting in all this time? Some of you are involved in loveless marriages right now, waiting for that one thing to happen so everything will be right. And it may not happen. When are you going to quit putting in time for something that may happen? When you have guaranteed freedom now. There is no way in the world, even on my worst day, I knew when to quit. On my worst day. I endured so much to a point. But when I saw that something kept going further and further down the rabbit hole, I didn't let it keep going. I stopped. Because I knew the value of time. I knew the value of time. I was like, you know what? I'd rather quit this now and pick it up later somewhere else with someone else and in another location than to endure this over a period of time with the possibility of a maybe that things will change. Because if things were going to change, they would have changed by now. That's the way I look at it. Not 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And I'm sorry if this flies in the face of some people's religious beliefs. I'm sorry if it does. But see, I value time. You can't get that back. And I'm not going to sit here and give up 15, 20, 30 years of my time in the same situation over and over again, scraping up my knees praying that it'll change, when I know that I could have spent those 15, 20, 25 years moving on, getting something brand new, and feeling better about myself, and looking in the mirror and being thankful for the blessing thereof. I'm sorry I can't. So some of you have some decisions to make. Some of you do. Time is valuable, people. When are you going to realize that? I'm going to keep this short today. But I just say this to say this. Don't keep yourself in a situation for a long period of time looking for some kind of imaginary reward that you may or may not get. You don't know if you're going to get it. And if you get it, you don't even know if it's going to be worth it. You just don't know. There's too much uncertainty in that so-called reward that you think you're going to get, and you're putting in too much time towards it. There's just too much uncertainty. Cut your losses now while you can, so you can open yourself up to something that's guaranteed. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Peace.